Reactions to the impending disaster of the United States Dream Team. The USA was saved from the loss of its life by a fiery Serbia in Paris. This alleged dream group was down 17 in the semi-last. The heroes talk. The US was nearly losing the semi-last of the men's competition at the Paris Games against a Serbia that, then again, came near evident brilliance on an amazing August evening. The Americans were somewhere near 17 focuses against Pezic's men, mindful that main an ideal game could put this sort of dream group in a tough situation, and they were saved by the impossible nature of their principal players in the most squeezing minutes. They advanced to the last, which was just expected, breaking out in a cold sweat after the difficulties of this Thursday against the men drove on the court by Nikola Jokic, the ongoing NBA MVP. This end product, 95-91, doesn't dependably communicate the terrible time they went through in the country that concocted b-ball. They needed to hold nothing back to keep away from, as they did, a stain that could not have possibly been taken out in a very long time for an age that closures its support of the country in this competition and that matches the best ever. Toward the finish of the match, the heroes talked about what had occurred, which left nobody detached. This was the game at the 2024 Paris Olympics. The American players knew about who saved them. Everything boils down to two words, Stephen Curry and Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis said toward the end. It was in the very bearing that LeBron James was still on the court, in the cluster of his colleagues, we definitely realized that they planned to test us in this fucking competition. Gourmet specialist, Joe, you have kept us above water. Serbia, an exemplary ball player when Yugoslavia, by and by showed its personality. Furthermore, that of the global scene. The distance between the NBA and the EuroLeague is more limited than you suspect, Chima Monique, previously of Manresa, Baskonia and furthermore Sacramento Rulers, commented on his interpersonal organizations. It is a holdback that the power forward, who was reputed to as often as possible be playing for Barca this late spring lastly wound up in Spain, rehashes, American pioneer LeBron James, who with 16 places, 12 bounce back and 10 helps marked an Olympic triple twofold that main Alexander Belov, Luka Doncic and himself had recently accomplished in 2012, had this to say concerning his lifespan. I'm 39 years of age. This is my 22nd year as a player. I don't have any idea the number of chances and minutes that should have the option to vie for something significant and play significant games, and this evening I did it in one of them. He likewise talked about Carmelo Anthony, who is presently not on the program yet was giving a shout out to them from the first column of the stands, bringing up a suggestion he gave him when everything went dull for the fantasy group. You told me, you must do it the most difficult way possible. And I clearly heard you. Bogdan Bogdanovic wound up irate with the two of them. In words to Ben News, the gatekeeper who presently plays for the Birds of Prey attacked the arbitrators, we attempted to converse with them. They didn't attempt to converse with us. They just convoluted. That is fine. Yet, the US needn't bother with that sort of help against us. You know, the assist they with getting when they get us with two hands whatnot. In any case, I'm not a person who for the most part discusses refereeing. I needed to win against the refs, as well. Congrats to us all for keeping mentally collected all through the coordinate and not getting into a battle with them. The arbitrators will be there, that's what we know. I would rather not take on a similar mindset as a washout either, regardless of whether I figure they ought to have called in an unexpected way. I'm glad for how we battled, we didn't surrender, that is something we can be happy with. Another who headed down that path was Svetoslav Pezic. Furthermore, currently in Mozart game he set his opponent up in place of worship before the games, yet this time he adopted an alternate strategy. I'm irate on the grounds that we didn't get regard from the arbitrators. In Serbia there is a platitude that the failure has the privilege to be. I'm furious in light of the fact that we didn't get that regard. I need to say this is on the grounds that the best player on the planet simply figured out how to shoot 4 free tosses in very nearly 40 minutes. Assuming our best scorer was 32 and he shot 1, it implies that a few odd things were going on. I would rather not deprecate their triumph, I wish them karma, yet bizarre things happened this evening. There was a shortfall of you not as a nation, yet rather on the whole. I let the players in on that expecting they remained quiet and struggled until they got smacked straightforwardly in the stomach the refs would reimburse us, yet that didn't happen and that is the means by which we completed a remarkable match.